Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Nick here with Geeks with Cash, and this is a unboxing of the Evercade vs. Founders Edition. Now, I kind of bought this on a whim several months ago when they first did pre-orders, because I had been somewhat curious about the Evercade ecosystem to begin with, and I kind of wanted to start dipping my toes into it. Not really big on the handheld, so they decided to dip their toes into more of a console format, and I thought, cool! Let's go ahead and get that and see how this thing works. So, here it is. I got this a little before Christmas. I really have not had time to dig into it with the holidays and all the other madness surrounding all that. You guys know how that is. There have been a few other people that have done reviews on this so far. I, however, have not had any exposure into this ecosystem, so I'm kind of impartial to this in general, as this was mostly a whim purchase. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this thing up and we're going to take a look at it and we're going to see what all is in here. As you can tell, I probably already looked at this just to kind of make sure everything was intact. I didn't spend a lot of time digging into any one item, primarily because I wanted to save that for when we did this, because this was always what I kind of had intended. So let's see where we can open it. Alright, here we go. So we will face this way and lay this down. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. Work with me. Nick, there we go. Okay, cool. Alright, so the thing that we have on the very, very top is, of course, going to be the unit itself. Let me go ahead and get this out. Come here. Okay. So, you can see here, this is the front of the unit. This opens up so you can put the carts in, and you can see when you open it up, it's got a slot for two totally different carts in there. No real major reason on this, other than the fact that I think they wanted you to be able to store two carts. We'll dig into that a little bit later. On the front, you can see it's got verses here, kind of in the matte black. This part down here kind of glows a little bit, and it will hold 4 different controllers. On the top, it's got Founders Edition, like right here, and it's got a button right here to basically power on the whole unit. If we flip it around to the back, you can see there's the ports. You kind of got like a little micro plug in there, which looks like it might be, I'm not really sure what that's for. Oh, let me look at it here. That is DC in and HDMI out. So, power cable and then a HDMI. So, this unit is supposed to be able to work with your existing Evercade if you happen to have that. And the reason it does that is because you can use it as an actual controller. One of the advantages to this system is if you're already invested in the Evercade ecosystem, you can put your card in here, play it on your big screen at a higher resolution than the Evercade itself is capable of. I believe this does 1080p. The Evercade itself does 720. So you can pop your card out of here, you can put it in your Evercade, you can take it on the go, and then you can play your game on the go, put it back in here, and it's like you never left. Whatever save states, progress you've made are on the card. So you can just kind of move back and forth. So it's really, really cool if you're already in the Evercade. Now, if you're just into it for the console part like me, this is probably still a pretty good unit. It's really light. The plastic's actually pretty decent. It's not my favorite. Doesn't really rattle a lot. This lifts and closes pretty nicely. It feels pretty well constructed so far. But let's go ahead and dig into what we have in the rest of this. So I'm going to put this to the side. Down goes the unit. And we're going to go another layer deep. So stick with me. This is going to happen a lot. There's a lot of stuff in here. For the record, this kit itself was $250. The base unit, if you want to get that, is roughly around $100. That will get you a white version of the Evercade, which is more in line with their handheld, and it will have like red accents on it and things like that. So if you're a stickler for things matching color-wise, you may want to go with that one as opposed to this one. It won't come with all the stuff, but you can pick that up. These cards really aren't that expensive. The next thing that we have in here looks like a steelbook. So, you can see there, I got a little bit of glare, but you can see this is basically a little steel book. You can see the front and the back here. Go ahead and open this up. See if I can get into it. Struggle is real, folks. Alright, so we got a couple cards in here, which is kind of nice. This one looks like it's sort of like schematics and stuff for the actual unit itself. That's kind of neat. I'll put that on top of the console. The next one here looks like it is for the controllers that come with it. That's also kind of nice. You can see that there. Also put that on top of the console. And then we have my Evercade versus Founders certificate of authenticity. with not really direct signatures, but kind of like a printed signature from everybody in the Blaze family. So that's kind of nice. And then inside this, we actually have what looks to be a tiny, tiny little keychain in the shape of the controller. So that's sort of neat. That's kind of a nice little penny. I don't really use keychains, so I don't see using this unless I just hang it up on the wall or something. But it's nice. And then you have the inside of the steel case, which has 6 slots to hold 6 carts. And given my count on this initially, this is just enough carts to hold everything that's in the box. So we're going to close this up and put this down here. And one more layer we go. Boom. Alright, so this looks to be kind of a neato little poster. Let's open this up real quick. Nice, I kind of like that. It's got like a little family playing this in front, and you got like all their Evercade stuff and all that stuff. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's nice. Ooh, bad dudes. Wonder if I got bad dudes. I don't know if I got bad dudes. I wonder if I got bad dudes. Now I want bad dudes. The Evercade versus Quick Start Guide, which we're not really going to focus on too much here because it's kind of plug it in. Evercade versus Link Cable. Evercade Handheld 2 Evercade versus. Just a quick little sheet kind of detailing that out. And now we're actually, looks like we're getting into the games. So let's just go and pull one of these out at random here. Looks like we have the Evercade Technos by Arc System Works. Arcade Collection 1. This includes 8 different games. And Mysterious Stones, Blockouts, Compatibles, looks like. Double Dragon 2, Double Dragon 3. Nice. Mania Challenge. Minky Monkey. I have no idea what it is. Battle Lane Volume 5. So, here's that. And you can see the back. We'll put this off to the side. So that's 8 games. And we also have another multi-game cartridge. This is the Data East Arcade 1. And I think these purple cartridges are new to this ecosystem. I don't remember seeing cards like this before when I was looking into the system. These are straight arcade ports. I think that's new. This has Burger Time. Ooh, Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. What the heck is that? Getty Doom, Wizard Fire, Breakthrough, Tumble, and many, many more. Ooh, Spy vs. Spy. Neat. Lock and Chase. Okay, cool. So that's another 10 games right there. You can see that and flip it around, and you can see that through the glare that I have on every single shot because of the way I'm filming, because I'm filming in the middle of the night in my living room. Dominating my living room. My wife loves me right now. And that one goes over there. Okay, here we go. Next up is going to be the Calico Arcade 1 collection. This has 6 games, so we had 10 games and 8 games, so that's 18 plus 6, that's going to be 24. This one has such titles as Alligator Hunt, Thunder Hoop, World Rally, Biomechanical Toy, Glass, and Snowboard Championship. Now, it is important to mention, as we kind of go through these, that these are all curated games by Blaze. Blaze has kind of gone through and gone with what they could get licensing and what they thought would be fun on the cart and what would add to the specific collection by that particular developer or publisher house, and put those on here. So that's 24 games. Next up is going to be the Atari Arcade Collection 1. This has 13 games. So we went from 24 games to 37 games. And this has Asteroids, Canyon Bomber, Centipede, Crystal Castles, Liberator, Lunar Lander, Millipede, Missile Command, Night Driver, Pong, Skydiver, Super Breakout, and Warlords. And you can get a good look at that there. Like that. So far, we've got a good number of games for our money here. Now, are these games that you can emulate elsewhere? Yes. This gives you a legal way of being able to own these, and they're nice portable carts. And if you have an Evercade, it makes them very portable and very convenient. Just pop it in and play. Let's go one layer deep. Boop. And we're down to what I think is the last two carts. And we have a regular Evercade cart. This is the Intellivision Collection 1. People have been wanting me to play Intellivision games. Well, now I have something to play Intellivision games on. This has Night Stalker, great. Astro Smash, fantastic. Thin Ice, never heard of that. Thunder Castle, never heard of that. Shark, heard of that one. Like that one. Princess Quest, think I've heard of that one. Frog Bog, definitely heard of that one. Snafu, heard of that one. Slapshot Super Pro Hockey, cool. Pinball, Buzz Bombers, and World Rockets. So you can kind of see that there. Like that. And that's another 12 games. So we have 37 and 12. That brings us up to 49. And then the last cart that we have is the Bitmap Brothers Collection. I think I remember looking at this one real quick and not being too impressed with the carts that are on it. I could be surprised. I've never really heard any of these games. So, I mean, it could be cool. I get to play. One of the things that kind of drew me to this in the first place was I was going to get to try some stuff that was kind of curated, that stuff that I haven't really messed with or played with yet. And it'll give me some exposure to maybe some stuff that was really big in the UK that I never really got to play, or stuff that was in the arcade that I just never really thought to check out. And now I get a chance to kind of check it all out, which is kind of cool. So this one has Speedball, Xenon 2 Mega Blast, Speedball 2, the Chaos Engine, and Speedball 2001. So they were really heavy on Speedball. Apparently Bitmap Brothers really does something called Speedball very, very well. I have no idea what Speedball is, but eventually we're going to find out what Speedball is. So there's the back of the cart. And I think we have now gotten to the rest of this, because another thing that comes with this, you come with the 6 carts, the steel case, you've got the keychain, you've got the cards and the authenticity thing and all that stuff along with the unit. It also comes with 2 controllers, which is really cool, because that immediately lets you do like 2-player action on any of these right out of the box, which is fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and pull one of these out. Now, one of the things I'm going to make note of here before I even show you the controllers is this comes with a black cable and a red cable. Red pill, black pill, instead of red pill, green pill. Or red pill, blue pill, I should say. So here's the red cable and here's the black cable, and neither one of these looks like they connect into the HDMI. So these look like one of these is USB, and these are both USB. So this looks like it's powered through USB, but I don't see any kind of wall adapter or anything like that. So I guess you can just power the unit off of USB, because these look like they plug directly in to the back of the unit for the power. So there's no brick adapter, which could be a minor problem. That you might have to buy like a USB to wall mount adapter to be able to plug this thing into your wall. So that's going to be possibly an additional purchase, because I don't see anything else in here that's going to help you with that. So that's a minor negative for something that's $250 and pretty cheap to include. The other thing that's not in here, HDMI cable. I don't really know the reasoning behind that. I heard the reasoning was they were trying to keep the cost down. I find HDMI cables cheap. I found a power brick really cheap. You don't necessarily need it to power this thing, I bet. I bet you I could just plug this in any kind of like power strip that has a USB plug in it. Or I could plug it to any kind of like quick charge power station thing and it would probably power up just fine. I don't know. We'll find out whenever we start getting it connected. I do have some HDMI cables around the house. And I think that's really what they were counting on when they put this kit together, is that people already kind of have these things or a way to power these things, and that's why they didn't include it. I don't know that I agree with that. So I'm going to kind of like ding it a little bit on that, because I don't like that. If you're going to sell me a product, sell me everything I need with the product. Include that in the cost. I just feel like that's how you should do business. That's just me. If I buy a console, like I buy a PlayStation 5, I don't want to go out and have to buy a power cable for it or brick. I want it to include an HDMI cable. They all include HDMI cables. So why didn't you, Blaze? I genuinely am curious. So let's go ahead and take a look at the controllers. So I'm going to pull one of these out there, actually two. This may be a little hard to see because they're matte black like the unit. And here is the front of the controller, and you can kind of see it's really matte. It's kind of shiny and glossy. You can see the D-pad there's a little bit raised, and you can see the buttons are all kind of like clearish black with the lettering in gray. You can see the 2 little buttons there. If you look at the top of it here, you can actually kind of see where the bumpers are and everything like that. It's a pretty solid little controller. I don't know if I like how raised the D-pad is personally. That's more of a personal preference for me. It does look like it's a standard USB controller, and I think from some of the other stuff I've seen that if you're not happy with these, it will use external controllers. So say you have an 8-bit controller or something like that that you're fond of, that I tout a lot on this channel because I use them all the time. If you want to use something like that, in theory, I think you can connect it and map it and use that in lieu of these controllers if you don't like them. However, these are pretty good quality controllers, and there's 2 of them. So you get these directly out of the box. So that is what's directly inside this box right now as far as the product goes. So I think the next thing that we probably need to do is we probably need to plug this thing in, take a look at the UI, and see how that looks and feels, and see how the controllers feel when you go into like a game real quick, and see how responsive they are, see how durable they feel, and see how well they play each one of the games. Now, I'll probably break this up into multiple parts after we get done with the UI, and the reason is this is probably going to be a pretty lengthy video already, and if you guys are interested, I can go into each one of the collections. However, I am not the only person that's in this ecosystem, and I'm really new to it. So, if you want somebody who's already done like a full breakdown on this and you don't want to wait on my video, Classic Gaming Fun, my buddy Pete, has a channel where he does a lot of Evercade stuff and a lot of other things. He's already unboxed one of these. Not necessarily the Founders, although I think he's gotten his Founders and possibly unboxed that now too. But I know I watched him unbox one of these before. Blaze sent him an early revision of it before it officially hit everybody else. So he has already gone through most of these collections and done his impressions on them. So if you want to hear from somebody who's more invested in this ecosystem already and is into these games and has used them in multiple different instances, he would be one of your go-to people. KilDashNine, who's another YouTuber who covers the Evercade a lot, is a big fan of Blaze. Bacon Ice Cream Productions, my buddy Rich, also does some coverage of this as well. A lot of these guys, they're part of an Evercade podcast. So if you want more information from people that have more contact with Blaze as a company, have more exposure to this ecosystem, have spent more time with these games, those are good people for you to go to. Their links will be in the description below. That way you guys can reach them easily. And I think they're also part of the Gamers United Guild as well. I know Bacon Ice Cream Productions and I know Pete is. Don't know about Kill. I don't know if he's in yet. If not, I don't see why not. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't get around to it. Maybe he doesn't want to. I have no idea. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and continue on with this. So stick with me while I go ahead and get this all connected and let you know what was missing, what I needed, how I connected, and go over that. And then we'll go over the UI. And then, again, if you guys want, I'll start digging through these games individually in each card collection. And I'll just title them as such so you guys can see what my impressions are of the games that are on there and which ones I think are worth your money, which ones I think aren't. With 54 games at a price of $250 with 2 controllers in the unit, even though it's missing the power brick and doesn't include an HDMI cable, I think it's still probably a pretty good value for your money, assuming you find any value in the games. And that's really what all these things boil down to. My initial impression is that this is very, very good for collectors because it gives you an accessible way to collect games, particularly these older retro style games, and have them and have the carts and have that tangible feel to it. If you're into emulation or doing these things more digitally, this may or may not be a console for you, but we'll approach that when we hit those. So stick with me. Okay guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this. As you can see, I've gone ahead and got the system booted up. It actually looks pretty nice when it boots up. The Blaze logo comes up, Versus pops up. It's all very dramatic. So now we're in here and we're just kind of looking at the games. I went ahead and loaded this thing with 2 carts. It's the same 2 carts that I showed you guys earlier when I was doing my whole fancy stuff. And I got about 18 games on here. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to ignore the games, which you can see are kind of right here. They all show up as little tiles. They all load up pretty quickly. And we're going to go ahead and go into the settings. Now, I've made a few changes to the settings just to kind of customize it to my personalized experience. First thing you do is you can change the display to where you had the original ratio, pixel perfect, or full screen. I've left it on pixel perfect just to kind of make everything look as arcade accurate as I can. And then for shaders, you can either turn off all the shaders, you can do subtle scan lines, or you can do really strong scan lines. I went with subtle because it's kind of a personal preference of mine. You can change different bezels for whatever doesn't get covered by the game. So right now I've got it set to Versus, but you can change it to Evercade Origin, Wireframe, Rancid, Lotoff, Logo Legends, Box Art, and then you can actually go down and either turn the scan lines on or off inside the main menus. I went ahead and turned those on. I kind of like that. So if you go in here and take a look at the themes, you can change this to dark, light, or classic. I'm going to go ahead and change it to dark for a second, just so you can see it. So there's the dark one right there, which I think kind of looks okay. We're going to go ahead and change it to light, which I don't really like. Nope, that's under theme. So we'll go ahead and do light. This reminds me for some reason of Atari-ish. I don't know why. I don't like it. It's way too bright for me personally. I'm going to go back to the classic. So we'll leave it that way. It does a little gun cocking noise too, which I think is cool. Sound is what you think it is. It'll let you adjust the music sound of any given game and the sound effects. Network will let you put yourself up into the network, which the only thing I can think of that the network does right now is it allows you to update the console. That's about it. I don't think there's anything you can buy, sell. I don't know if there's online co-op on this thing. It doesn't look like there is. Accessibility options will let you toggle something called high contrast mode for people who have, I guess, poor eyesight. So if you turn that on, it'll look like this, which doesn't look bad. I just don't particularly care for it, so I'm going to turn it back off. And then if we go in here, you can change the language of the system for whatever reason, assuming you change the put it to the wrong language. I don't know why. And then you can go into system, either check for updates, factory reset it, or map a new controller, which is the next thing we are going to do. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit map controller, and then I'm going to unplug this and I'm going to map another controller. So we're going to do that. I'm going to unplug this controller. Put that down. And then I'm going to plug in an 8-bit controller. So that's come up again. So again, I'm using this controller. And then I'm just going to press and hold, nope, map controller. Select that. Keep holding it until it comes up to this screen. Then you just map it according to the way it says. Up, down, left, right, A, X, Y, R1, L2. Okay, there we go. Start. And then you have to choose another button to be able to pull up the menu to be able to get you out of there. So we're going to take this and apply this. New mapping's been applied, and now we are using an 8-bit controller for our main control scheme. So if you either don't like this controller or you have more controllers that you want to use with this system, instead of buying more of these, you can use your existing controllers, which I think is kind of nice. It means you get 2 controllers. This has 4 slots, so you can plug in like 2 more controllers, and you're good. So we're going to go ahead and pull up a couple of games here. These are the same ones I've been using as examples since I've been trying to do this. First one is Sly Spy. This one's kind of neat. I kind of like it. If you scroll down, it'll actually tell you all the controls and everything like that that you need to play the game. And then you just go ahead and jump right into the game. It doesn't take that long to load.
Welcome, Agent.
I have no idea what this does except for give you a name. So we're going to go ahead and jump in here, and then we're going to start shooting fools. many guys spawn in this so quickly that it makes it hard to actually get to the daggum bullets sometimes. There we go. Pull that ripcord, son! Good, I got some bullets. I don't understand that section, I'll be honest. Because so many guys spawn and they're everywhere. That I think they just wanted you to have like a 2-second time before you died. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, they wanted you to die like multiple times there for whatever unknown godly reason. So, well, it's neat. I don't know if I think this one's like designed very fair, but you at least get a bike scene, which is cool, and a little bit better balanced, I think. And you can't just spam bullets. You'll notice in the lower left you get a bullet counter on this one. Good old Data East. Your hit reaction is so bad on this. Alright, so we're going to jump out. You just hit the center button here, which is like your hot map button, which I mapped to another button on my controller. Jump out of that. I mean, it is an arcade game, so it being a little cheap is eh. Oh, dadgummit, I just jumped in again. Okay, there we go. Alright, cool. So let's jump into Wizard Fire. Why not? And same thing here, you got all the basics that you need to be able to play the game here. That tells you a little bit about the game under the read more. So that's cool. It gives you a nice description and everything. It's a really stupid slogan of hers. Go. And this one I kind of like too. I think this is a cool little arcade game. This would be a fun little beat 'em up if I'd seen it in the arcade. I think I would have enjoyed it quite a lot, actually. A lot of this stuff's kind of pointless. It's just giving you points. You do get powers to like gauntlets and other things, which is kind of nice. Why am I okay? I was getting mind warped by something. I have no idea what the heck that was supposed to do. Whoa! Oh, I got run over, son. Let's try the dwarf. Where is he? There he is. Oh, for Pete's sake. There we go. Okay, cool. Ooh, he's got a coolio axe. I like that. Whoa! Go, go, flaming axe! Ha! You missed me. Ow! You got me that time, I think. He's got a really quick attack. It's actually kind of nice. There we go. So we got him down. Eat flaming axe! Can I ask you a question? There we go. So let's jump out of that. And we'll try one more. Back out of that. And since we have it here, let's do some Double Dragon. Let's see how this looks. If it looks very arcadey. And like always, you get that. You got your read more, seeking revenge for a defeat for Billy and Jimmy Lee, blah 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 blah. That kind of stuff. Jump on in. So we'll add some credits here. They just gave up on like hitting her in the stomach and carrying her away. They just shoot her now. Okay, can I? Yeah, there we go. Goal. Hi, lady. Ow, dadgummit you. This looks really good. Why are you kicking the opposite way? Very confused. What are you doing? I mean, I'm not an amazing Double Dragon guy, and I'm not like a karate guy. But I would think I would know which way to punch. What is going on? Very confused. I was never very good at Double Dragon. I'm not gonna lie. I could never figure this game out. There's like no way to get hit priority here. Not that I can see. Alright, so we're just gonna continuously get hit. Interesting. Alright. Alright. The chain whip sound actually sounds really good. Just a straight up flail, I think. Hi, big man. Oh my goodness. Ah! Look, Arnold. Why? Why? Maybe you guys can explain in the comments why when I'm pressing towards a guy and I'm hitting the attack button, he kicks the opposite direction. That would be great to know. He is not responding. Okay. He's pretty unresponsive. Oh no! Wow, this is bad. I'm not getting it, dude. He is absolutely doing the opposite thing that I feel like he probably should be doing by kicking a completely different direction. There's got to be something I'm missing. There's no way this got through in the arcade this way. Even back then, there's no way. Anyway, that is Double Dragon 2, which I'm going to jump out of because it kind of seems like poop right now. And then we'll kind of do a synopsis on this and see what we think. So, let's talk. So, we've taken a look at the whole unit as a whole. unboxed it, played with it a little bit. We mapped a new controller to it. But what do I think about it? It's hard to say. On one hand, I really like it because it's a good boot up and play, easy to use kind of unit. You get a lot of bang for your buck with the various different carts, and they're really collectible. They gave me a nice tin to kind of put them all in. It's easy to slot 2 of them in and have a large array of games that you can sit down and play, and I think you can just pop them in and out and put in new carts, which is kind of cool. I also like the fact that it came with 2 controllers, and you don't have to buy more controllers if you already have controllers, because you can just map the ones that you have. It's really not that hard to map a new controller. So if you don't like the way the Evercade controllers feel, and I can empathize with that because they're a little rough. I mean, they're not painful to hold, but they're not my favorite. They're not the most ergonomic thing in the world. But they do kind of fit that retro aesthetic. You may find that you love them. I like my 8-bit controllers. I find those fit in my hand really well regardless of the type, so I tend to want to use those more. Which is great, because the system's flexible enough to allow me to do that. Do I think it brings anything new to the table? Yes and no. Yes, in the aspect that they've curated a bunch of games, and they put games in there that you may not necessarily ever think of trying. So, unlike where when you build a RetroPie, you're generally going to load it up with the stuff that you know, and you're going to grab a few new things here and there, and you're going to pick and choose. You're just going to load everything you can in there, and then you may or may not touch it. This curates things into neat, tight packages that you can just slot in, boot up, and play. And given the fact that each one of those carts is roughly $20, you're getting anywhere between 5 and 13 games per cart. You're kind of getting a good amount of your money's worth per cart. Even if you only like 1 or 2 of the games that's on there, especially if it's something you've never played before, or it's a version that you like better than ones you played previously, like say the Double Dragon, which, while being a little frustrating, looked much better and more arcade accurate than anything I've ever played before. Yeah, I could probably download the main file for that, and I could probably do something similar on a RetroPie. However, this just boots it up and plays it, and I don't have to fiddle with adding scan lines or any of that other stuff. Not that that's hard, but it's more time-consuming, I think, than just popping in a cart and having everything work. It automatically adjusts and takes some of the guesswork out of some of this stuff. I think I'll pretty much get my money's worth out of this system. I still have 2 nagging complaints. One, that it doesn't come with a power brick. I think I could power this off my keyboard, though. I could just plug it in and it would work. The other thing basically being the fact that they didn't give me an HDMI cable. And while I sort of understand that, I sort of also don't understand that. Because if you're going to offer me a complete package, then that just seems like something you should include. I mean, if it takes a $100 package and it makes it like a $110 package, or a $120 package, I don't think that's unreasonable. $250 to $270, not that big of a deal. It's just stuff that I feel like I should be able to just boot it up and go and not have any issues there. So that's just my standpoint, though. Is this making me an Evercade fanboy? Probably not. I'll probably curate and buy carts here and there for it, and I'll have some fun with it. This will be an easy way to kind of boot some of this stuff up and maybe play it with my wife or something like that. Maybe put it in the living room and just load carts in it and have fun with it that way. I might do some streams with it if you guys want. If you guys want to see reviews on the individual carts and what they have offered, I can boot them in here one by one, and I can kind of dig through those, and we can do reviews on those. All I wanted to do today was to give you guys kind of a sample of some of the stuff that I got with it and go over what was in the package, how it kind of boots up, how it looks, and what the customizability is on the unit itself. And I feel like we did a really thorough job on that. This video is like 40 minutes or more. It's kind of insane. But I wanted to make sure I covered all the bases with you guys so that you guys could make an informed, intelligent decision on how you wanted to approach this if you decided to pick one up. I think if you pick up the $100 one, you're probably going to find more than enough in this just through discovery of different carts having things that you may not ever think to play. And the fact that they're on there with something else that you did want off that cart means you're finding new games. And I think that's kind of worthwhile. And I think $100 is pretty reasonable. Now, I paid a lot more than that, but then I got a lot more for my money. I got 6 carts, all valued at $20 a piece. So that's $120 there. And then I got the steel case and all that other stuff. So I don't feel like I got cheated. I feel like I got my money's worth out of it. And I'm looking forward to digging in a little bit more and experimenting with this and playing more things in the ecosystem. Who knows? I may actually even pick up an Evercade too, because not only can you use it as a controller on this thing, you can take your cart out, you can put it in the Evercade handheld and take it with you, and then play it that way. And then if you have any save states or anything you were using, or any saves, you can put it back in here and you can still access those. And I think that makes this a very flexible solution for a lot of people. I think you're going to see slowly more people kind of adopt this if they know about it and they're into the retro gaming scene. Is this going to bring new people in the retro gaming scene? No. Is this a game changer for Evercade from the handheld unit? No. Is it a good companion piece or a good entry point for somebody who's not into handhelds? Absolutely. So if you look at it from that standpoint and kind of look around and see what those collections have and see if there's enough of them that you think, maybe I want this, but you want to play it more in just a normal console format, I think you could do worse than picking this thing up. I think it's a pretty cool piece of tech. So, with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you like, what you don't like about this system. Do you like Blaze? Do you not like Blaze? Do you like the Evercade ecosystem? Do you have them? Do you not have them? Are you more likely to pick one up now? Let me know. And until next time, guys, happy gaming.